And here we are. Good morning, everyone. It's Mike, and it is Space in Miniature Live. We're going to try this as an experiment. Maybe we'll do this every week. Maybe we'll do it when I get around to it. And we'll see what's happening. So, what I want to do first, this first episode, maybe run 10 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a tour of my hobby workshop. And what we'll be doing after that is going through every week or so a build in progress. And you'll see what that is in a few minutes. If you have some questions or comments during this live broadcast, just post them as a comment. And I have my lovely assistant, Mara, is going to be checking for any applicable questions. And we'll try to answer those as we go. If not, we'll answer them afterwards. So here we go. This is the workshop. And I'm going to flip camera around so you can see my little workbench here. Work in progress. It's top secret because it's covered. And some pin collections. And here's one of my two very large model cases. Pardon the reflections, but this is how I get nice lighting in here. And we'll get a little closer here in just a minute. So here we go. We're going to take the camera and go look at some models. So we'll start at the bottom. And in this bottom two shelves here is first a quick pan. You can kind of get a sense of what's here. And again, pardon the reflections. Maybe I can get in front of them, but we'll get in a little closer. If I was to open the doors, I'd be sliding them all over the place. But the bottom two is my McDonnell Douglas shelves. Some of these are pretty old, but you know, if you guys know, I started my career with McDonnell Douglas in St. Louis, so I have a soft spot for Mac Air airplanes. And I also have a soft spot for space things. Of course, it's Space in Miniature. And so these two shelves are old Mac Air airplanes. And a lot of them I like prototypes or one-offs, things like that. Let's see if we can get rid of these reflections. Yeah, that's a little better. There's the Moonbat, XF-85, things like that. Original F-15 and early Harrier, Aviate-B, Hornet number 2, a YF-23, some more recent ones. Some of these are resin kits. And then we go to some miscellaneous aircraft, a very early F-14 model, a nice A-10, stealth fighter, 16. I liked helicopters when I was a kid, had a few of those. It's an old vacuum form Learjet. Some 50s jets, some prop planes on this shelf. Just a quick once over. Again, a lot of 50s stuff. Ooh, look at that. A Angel Interceptor. And then we go up to the top half, where we have some spacey things. This is a shelf of X-planes. And we'll just go quickly through those. This is one of my favorites has always been the X-24. But these are the kits from Mach 2, and they're terrible. Terrible, terrible. But they came out nice. I was happy with the results. And a few more various X-planes taking up this shelf. Yeah, the U-2 is not an X-plane, but it's NASA markings. And then this shelf here, I added just a miscellaneous 50s type thing. Let's see if we can get rid of the glare. There we go. A little better. 102, a NASA 104. The big Huey, no, I didn't build the big Huey. An old F-104, built that a long time ago. Top two shelves are space things. Here's my scratch built. Again, you can see much better pictures online. Curiosity rover. Some astronaut. This is my something I designed in high school. I call it the rock hopper, sort of a theoretical lunar vehicle. And then this moon bus, I think my brother built this back in junior high. Sorry about the reflections. You know, I can get light in here. I can't get rid of those. I built this back in a long time ago. Let's just put it that way. The eagle. And then top shelf, that's actually a very nice Hallmark ornament. I'm going to do something with that later. I tried a figure. Alan Shepard, I was happy with how that came out. What else we got? Some more toys. Old. My first scratch build project ever was this Ranger. And a lot of these, there's pictures on my website. So if you want to really get some good looks at these, they're on my website. But this is just a little video experiment here. Scratch built Viking. And the scratch-built Surveyor. Again, the Surveyor and the Ranger I did in junior high. And in early college days, before there was any kits, I had to do a Soyuz. So that's a scratch-built job. So we're going to be going to the other side of the office where I have lots of books, and another large case. And top half, you can see lots of airplanes and some Star Trek things. Bottom half, it's a large case, so it can fit tall rockets. The case was sized originally to fit this guy. As you can see, there's a B-36 in there. And I sized this homemade case to fit something with that wingspan. So just very briefly, we'll go to the top shelf, some 1/144th scale stuff, a rocket because it fits, shuttle 747. This Skylon, this black thing, that's the British Skylon, single stage to orbit vehicle. And the model, it's not a kit, it's a desktop model you can get from British Interplanetary Society, of which I've been a long time member. A very old Enterprise in the background, some other Star Trek kits. Here is the White Knight 2 with spaceship. The circular thing is a, oh, I forget the name of the kit, but it's made by a kit manufacturer from Japan that does a lot of anime stuff, but it's Space Colony. And it's an actual nice representation of a space colony. And so I've been using that for some of my outreach activities. So this shelf has some of the bigger 72nd scale stuff, these C-119s I used to see flying over the house when I was a kid in Milwaukee. B-47 actually was built by my old high school buddy, Greg, way back when, and I inherited it from him. B-36, B-66 is one of the V-2s from the infamous V-2 episode back on the IPMS National Convention a few years ago. Then we get down to a space shelf, the New Horizons paper model, the Start 1/288th roughly scale model of the space station in a year 2001 configuration, the old Gemini astronaut, the Russian 1/30th scale Soyuz, big monogram shuttle built back in the early 80s when the shuttle started flying. These are Glenn Johnson's real space models kits, 72nd scale of the Vostok and Mercury done as a first in space anniversary session. There's the winged Gemini from last summer. And similarly, I have to bring back, because this one's so much bigger, Big G. It's that big. Resin kit. The cutaway shuttle in the background. Let's see. Is the Apollo 15 lunar module. Super detail. Going down to the other shelf here, miscellaneous space kits. You can see there's my Cosmos re-entry vehicle. The Chinese Shenzhou 7. DCX, scratch built. A B-2 because that's where it fit. The helicopter in the background is one of my earliest models I think I still have when I was a kid. Built way back when. Bottom shelf gets a little darker, but this is where tall things fit. So you see a lot of rockets. And you see the Mir space station fits down here. Just a whole bunch of other things. So, oh, and look at that. There's a sailing ship. How did that get in there? Well, our local club president said, you guys are all too comfortable. We should do a challenge build this year. So he suggested that everybody build something out of their comfort zone. And as you can see, this sailing ship, it's the Mayflower, is kind of way different than anything else in this case. So that's going to our club meeting next week. I finally finished that. And you can see the winged Gemini and my scratch-built Skylab. Again, a lot of these, there's better pictures online, but the video gives you a cool representation of what's going on. So this is my workshop. This is where I sit and hang out and build things. Let's pop this back in here. There we go. And that's kind of my collection. That's where we are. And so what we're going to do next week is start a build, probably, hopefully, now that that Mayflower is done. And we'll walk you through it. And give me 1 second. I intended to have this ready, but of course I wasn't prepared. So it's going to be another Gemini. We're going to do the Manned Orbiting Lab. That's the next project. So we're going to start that. We'll talk about that in the next episode. So thank you for viewing, and we'll see you soon.